Hi, welcome to the third lesson, Powers and Exponents of this unit. Our standard is 8EE1, Rating and Evaluating Expressions Using Powers and Exponents. Some of you will be very good at this, and it's time to warm up our multiplication skills anyhow. So here we go. Just a little review. A power is a product of repeated factors using a base and an exponent. So go ahead and get those vocabulary words into our notes. Once you have it, unpause the video and continue on. We have a nice little graphic in the middle of the screen. It's showing us that our factors are what's being multiplied. That is known as our base. And the exponent is the number that it's kind of raised up in the little script. So that is the number of the times the factors is repeating. So we're going to go ahead and get those vocabulary words into our notes. We're writing common factor for our base, the number that's being repeated in the multiplication sentence. And we're writing how many times the base is multiplied for the exponent. Okay? Here we go. So the directions say we're going to write the expression using exponents. In this case, 2 would be our base. The number of times it repeats is 5, so we have 2 to the 5th power for the first example. Example 2, -5 is the base. I like it in parentheses, repeated 3 times, so -5 cubed, for example 2. We've got a mixture of x's and y's going on. We've got to make sure we count the x's when we write x to the 4th power, and we have y to the 3rd power. So x to the 4th, y cubed is example 3. In example 4, they got a fraction. We're going to go ahead and put that in parentheses. 1/3 is our base, and it's repeated 3 times, so 1/3 cubed is example 4. All right, easy warming up. Evaluating powers. Evaluate means to solve, so this one they actually expect our multiplication. So we're going to go ahead and write it out. The base is 2. We are repeating it 6 times, says the exponent. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 times 2 is 32, 32 times 2, I'm going to end with 64 for the answer for that one. I'm going to go ahead and write number 2 out. -4 is the base. We want it 3 times multiplied, says the exponent. -4 times -4 is positive 16. 16 times -4 leaves us with -64, for example, 2. So I don't know if you want to go ahead and get ahead of me, pause, and then check your answers. Most of you know how to do this. It's just a lot of multiplication. It is a no calculator section for the quiz or test, so be careful with that. And then go ahead and check your answers when you're done. All right. Let's see how you did. 4 times 4 is 16. You have 4 9s. It got ugly. 104,976 for this example. It just doesn't matter which way you multiply, says the commutative property. So if you wanted to do 144 times 12 to get 1728, and then multiply that by 2, and that answer by 2, and that by 2, it would be long. Or 2 to the 3rd power is 8, and multiply 1,728 by 8. Either way, does not matter. You get 13,824. Go ahead and check the last 2 examples. For the -1/3, multiply top times top times top, you get 1, -1. 3 times 3 times 3, you get 27. Just make sure your answer is -127 because you have an odd number of negatives for that example. Same thing here. This is really numerator to the 5th power, denominator to the 5th power. So 3 to the 5th power was 243. 4 to the 5th power was 1,024. I tried to do the whole, can we divide by 3 by adding the digits up? You could in the numerator. You could not in the denominator. So no common factors when you check all your divisibility rules. So it stands. All right. Last thing, they're going to be showing you some algebraic expressions and putting some powers in and see if you can solve. That's not a big deal. Let's run through one together. We've got x is 4, so we have 4 times 4 times 4 for the x cubed plus 2 to the 5th power for the second part of the expression. So 16 times 4 we decided was 64 a couple screens ago. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. So our expression is left with 64 plus 32, which leaves us with 96, not even any carrying. So not a bad example at all to end with. Have a good night.